The woman clothed with the sun is a female biblical figure constrained to only one chapter of Revelations, chapter 12. The book of Revelations speaks of visions of apocalypse and is rich with symbolism. The narrative written within Revelation chapter 12 representationally connects to several different sections of the Bible, as well as reflects a storyline shared by cultural myths from Babylonia to Egypt to Greece. At the heart of Revelations chapter 12 lies a dichotomy between a red dragon and a woman, identified only by her appearance and characterized only by her interactions with the dragon. This raises the question, who is the woman? There are several perspectives on her identity, and that perhaps is this biblical figure's greatest strength. This depth endows the figure with the capacity to be representative of time periods, for her ambiguity encourages religious iconography of her to edify a certain interpretation by, or a message of, the church. Chapter 12 opens with a physical description of the woman. A great sign appeared in the sky, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and her head a crown of 12 stars. She was with child and wailed aloud in pain as she labored to give birth. These symbols within the description of the woman clothed with the sun substantiate why she has been at one time understood to represent the church or Israel. The 12 stars allude to the 12 tribes of Israel. The woman's adornment with the sun and moon, along with the stars, reference Genesis chapter 37, verses 9 and 10. These verses connect the woman clothed with the sun to the people of the Old and New Testament, furthering the reference to Israel and the establishing of the church. The birthing has also been identified as the birth of the Messiah, transforming old Israel and renewing it. Iconography of the woman clothed with the sun at the start of the medieval time period echoes this line of thought, as these illuminations from an 11th century German manuscript called Bamberg Apocalypse illustrate. The woman has no remarkable features that reference any particular biblical woman. In this first image, she stands dominating the dragon, who is revealed as Satan later on in the book of Revelation. There is also a young man who personifies Christ. There is even a depictive church in the background. Within the second image, in the words of Natasha and Anthony O'Hear, the woman appears as if she is a cosmic force, representative of the battle between good and evil, God and Satan, the Roman Empire and Christians, within the book of Revelation. This zeroes in on the struggle that then faced the church and its followers. Here is a 13th century depiction of the woman clothed with the sun from the St. Albans manuscript, which demonstrates the slow artistic change in interpreting the woman clothed with the sun without referencing other biblical women to actually incorporating characteristics of the Virgin Mary in the iconography. She appears here more feminine with garb akin to that of Mary. This woman also holds a male child in an embrace similar to that of Mary holding Christ. Thus begins an evolution of the reading supported by the Church of the woman in chapter 12 of the book of Revelation. This second interpretation of this figure builds on traits of the Virgin Mary, linking the birth of the Messiah and the battle against Satan directly to her. A 15th century representation of the woman clothed with the sun by Albrecht Dürer is shown with long flowing hair like that of the young virgin. However, Dürer still illustrates the woman as an every woman figure. The link grows more compelling in this engraving of the woman clothed with the sun from the middle of the 16th century, showing an older woman that is also wearing a crown, two traits common of iconography depicting Mary. Yet in this 16th century Book of Hours, the woman looks similar to Marian visualizations, from her garb to stature, which is smaller. This woman is also older, more feminine, and less warrior-like, with her hands clasped together. As the centuries progress, depictions of the woman clothed with the sun grow more indistinct. The more modern portrayals either evoke the same strength from the medieval pictures or a similar femininity and reference to Mary found in Renaissance images. The identity of the woman clothed with the sun relies on which conception the Church expounded in a rendering of this biblical figure during different historical periods. Thus, she is a dynamic female biblical character whose chapter within Revelations leaves her open for interpretation.